Welcome back to Note to Self. I'm your host, Leah Tindale, and today, Michael Ross, the Michael Ross, is back on the podcast. Hello, Michael.
Hello, Leah.
I'm so excited.
This is my third time now.
I know, and people keep asking why. He has nothing to offer, and I
Nothing.
say, I don't know. For some reason, he's the only one who says yes.
Is this the final episode of season 1?
It is. We made it, and I'm very proud of myself because, as many people know, or maybe they don't know, when you want to do a project like podcasting, you have these great dreams, and then it's very hard to fit it into normal work life. So I just set myself a goal of 15, and then we'll we'll just rework it out.
Yeah.
And then maybe
more, maybe less.
Yeah.
Maybe less episodes, but longer episodes.
Maybe people will say, no more, Leah. We can't bear to hear you.
A one and done.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't know.
Like
but
a British comedy. Yep.
People will be, wanting comebacks, but I'll say never again. But anyway, the reason I asked you on for the final episode is because it was brought to my attention that people felt for some reason sad, or not sad, but like disappointed that they weren't actually finding out about me in the podcast or my thoughts, because I interview other people.
Yeah.
And
you were too good of a journalist. You didn't insert yourself into the stories, into the discussion in a way that I guess some listeners were expecting.
Exactly. And I thought, well, you know what? As a treat for you, Michael, I'll let you come back for the final episode and you can interview me.
Wow. Thank you.
It's okay. You're so welcome. So I don't know where you want to start and what we're going to dive into, but I guess the world is your oyster. The brain of Leah is at your disposal.
Episode 15. You're one season in.
Mm-hmm.
Is it what you expected? Did you go on a different journey over 15 episodes than what you thought? Or are you stoked? You planned out this season and it's all sort of come to fruition?
I think I'm both pleased and disappointed.
A bit of disappointment.
What? Yeah, because I think there was some guests I would have liked to be able to get that I couldn't get, which is always the way. It is what it is. And then sometimes I feel like the interviews I wasn't able to be fully present because you just go on a natural cycle of, energy or capacity or whatever. So those, as the creative, you wish that you could have done that a bit better, but you have to just let it go and put it out and then move on. But I am proud that I achieved a thing that I wanted to do in amongst everything that's been happening in this crazy place, this crazy thing called life.
The content, the conversations you were having, the notes you were taking. This was the idea.
It was.
The notes to self. Did you get what you were looking for? Or did you not know what you were looking for?
I think I felt a bit more calm from some of the feedback has been very reassuring of people giving me notes about stuff that I'm like, oh, yes, I think that too. I agree with that, or I'm on the same path as that. There was a lot of, and maybe I live in an echo chamber and I interviewed people only in an echo chamber, which is a problem. But there is a little bit of that of the notes were very encouraging and the feedback from people as well has been that it's been encouraging and they've felt like it was an approachable way to walk through some of the topics. And some of the heavier ones that we went through as well, like grief, for example, at the beginning. That's been one of the most popular episodes, as with parenting, the whole complex sort of parenting, and even whether or not you should have kids is another really popular one as well.
Have you changed any of your, did anything, or was it just a validation? Did you have a learning where you went, oh.
No, I
get it now.
I think I sort of feel a bit more seen, maybe, but, in a connected way. Like, there are more people like me out there, but I don't have, I haven't really changed. I haven't sorted through any of my...
And I guess this is the thing of maybe people don't know if they're listening and that, you are an introspective person who has done a lot of work to understand yourself,
Yes.
So it's not like you were treading into things that you had never talked about before.
No. But what I am really hoping for, Michael, and it hasn't happened, and so I'm still seeking, is people to give me the exact of what I should do on a silver platter.
Maybe that's a whole episode in itself.
Well, yes. I just want to be told what to do because I get very overwhelmed with choice and decisions, and there's a whole fear and feeling that I've had my whole life that you're going to make the wrong choice and that you're at split points all the time. And if you go down the wrong path, then you're going to ruin everything. So I'm trying to avoid that.
So therefore you don't believe in like predestination. You don't believe in fate.
Big topic.
Like your life isn't already set out before you.
Well, no, I think
free will.
I used to probably think I believed more in predestination, but it's like you have to figure out the predestined path. If that makes sense. Like it's like this is the path that's been chosen. That's the right, best, ultimate one. And are you going to pick it or are you going to pick a different one? And so you are always like, what if I don't pick the right?
But how do you know?
Well, that's the thing. And that's why you have to do this and you have to go on a lot of inner journey.
Were you under the belief that if you're choosing the wrong path, you would be like unhappy or things like that?
Yeah. My life wouldn't be as good as it would have been if I'd chosen the right path. This is serious.
I know. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
Because surely it leaves you open to then say a moment where there is like contentment, but maybe not ecstasy. And then what do you do at that point where you go, well, this clearly isn't a wrong choice.
No.
But you start going, it's like the episode on jealousy. You're like, I've got this. This is great, but I see that, and that looks even better. I think over there is the right path.
Well, this is a big note to self that I've worked on for the last 36 years of my life, and that is trying to undo the teaching that I had growing up of this one right path so that I can be more content with where I am and I'm not always striving or feeling jealous or feeling like I'm missing out. And that is a hard thing, and sitting in being content. Like we have a very incredible job, like 9 to 5. And I know that, but then it's still because I'm so trained. Oh, it's not enough. Nothing is ever enough. And that's probably got to do with my own cavities inside myself I'm trying to fill. But because of that, then that means that I have to be so active in being grateful and content because that I don't just find it a place that I'm like,
I think it's also the nature of our industry as well that it's a hierarchy of the job.
Yeah,
like the job you have is great, but we know there are higher levels.
Yeah, just
and you can and like you want to do your best and see where that takes you. I guess is the thing. Not necessarily. There's a lot of people in our industry that want to be the best.
Yes,
you know, and sometimes that is a massive boon and gets them where they're trying to go, and then other times it's a huge hindrance.
Yes,
because then where's the contentment? Not in the terms of settling, but where is the appreciation and the contentment of where you've already gotten to?
Yeah, and I don't think we do that very well generally anyway. Like we're always like, we'll get something and then it's the next and you're always on a wheel. And like, I hate that about society and consumerism and everything. It's always trying to push you rather than like, and then when you meet people that are really content and then you have to be like, no, you're not. I don't believe you. Like you, Michael, you're a very content person.
Why, thank you.
And I've struggled in our friendship. I keep trying to force you to be like, nah, there's something buried inside you. You just haven't been truthful with yourself yet. But I am learning to believe that is true.
I think what it is for my contentment, and some people would, I guess, maybe then say it's like a waste or a disservice to oneself if you know that there is more and you don't go after more, kind of thing.
Yeah, right.
I'm very aware of the fact that I could be working harder, be hustling with side projects and
doing your own podcast.
Doing a podcast. I'm very aware that all of those options exist.
Yeah.
And all of those options would lead to more opportunities And yeah, in a capitalist world, therefore probably more money.
Yeah.
And then more money might lead to more comfort,
Yes.
the finer things in life. But I think that actually brings comfort
Yeah, yeah.
contentment and going, well, I know I can do that if I want to do that.
So at any
Like,
moment you can change your mind.
yes.
I like that as a side note to self about changing your mind, because I don't feel like we also allow people to do that.
Really interesting at the moment.
Yeah.
That isn't there just a huge societal doubling down
Yeah.
on everyone's opinions, on
Yeah.
everyone's beliefs, and people think that when they get stuck or challenged, that they can't
Come back out.
they can't come back out, they can't grow and go, no, actually that's a good point.
Mm.
And shift and move, which doesn't make any sense.
No.
It's the sunk cost fallacy, the in for a penny, in for a pound.
What's the first bit you said? What?
The sunk cost fallacy.
Sunk cost fallacy.
So the belief that if you've put in time and effort into something, well,
Yeah.
like, because you can't get that back, you better keep going.
Mm.
And it's like, but no, sometimes you put time, energy, money into something that doesn't pay off, and it feels bad at the time. But then you can back out, because that penny will turn into a pound. You'll just keep investing in the bad thing.
Yeah, and that's not worthwhile, because then you won't be content.
No.
You'll be very disappointed and angry at yourself. I think that's a really interesting concept across so many things, even that I've talked about, like the having kids thing. Like people have always told me that'll change my mind, but then it's funny at a point now where I'm potentially I might. One of the thoughts has been that everyone will be funny about the fact that I've changed my mind.
Why?
Because people are weird like that. I don't know why.
What, you think there's people around you that would be like, oh, but you said you'd never have kids.
Yep.
They're jerks.
Yeah, they are.
And I love to bully you.
You wouldn't do that?
I'm not sure I would, because maybe I would have if I wasn't a dad.
Sure.
But it's such a different experience and such a big decision that you can't be the same before and after. You can't be the same in that moment when you choose oh, now is the right time. I have friends who have had a child and then have gone, one is enough.
Yeah.
And I think before I had a kid, I found that bizarre. Being like, why would you only have one? Because I'm one of three, and I was like, no siblings? That doesn't feel
That's not enough.
right.
Yeah.
Surely you have to go to two. And then having one, I'm like, no, I understand.
It's a lot.
Yeah, whether it's a lot, whether it's about that they want to celebrate and love one child kind of thing. Who knows why they've made that decision? It's not really my place to dissect it, but I did gain some understanding and appreciation of a change of mind.
Yes.
Because they didn't go into having kids thinking they'd stop at one.
And then
things change. People change.
Yeah, but we're not allowed to change. Didn't you know, Michael?
And this is where this was the beginning.
Yes.
Okay. I was thinking of asking you the questions of who was Leah?
Okay.
Who is Leah?
Who will she become?
Exactly. I thought you'd like those questions.
That is and it reminds me of an old Christian song that we used to sing, and they used to say, who was and is to come. So it's legitimately.
And here we go.
And
who was Leah?
Who was Leah? Leah was Leah. In 15 weeks ago or in life?
I feel from an outward point of view, you can let me know if there's other chapters to your life, but from an outward point of view, there was the Leah pre 5 years ago. There is this Leah who's still kind of in that period, the one I know, because I've only known you for 2. Yeah. And then you're a very aspirational person. So I would imagine that you have an idea of who does Leah want to be.
The business suit Leah.
Yes.
The power suit Leah.
Business suit Leah.
Yeah.
So who was Leah? How did you grow up?
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, deep diving. Well, I was born in Queensland and we lived...
Banana bender.
Yeah, not a sand groper anymore. My true insides are bananas. And I don't know how that makes sense.
That's
anyway.
a great quote. My insides up and up.
I think it's better than being a sand groper. I don't want that on the inside of me.
How dare you? We have proud sand gropers here in the West.
No. But I was only there for 5 years. But we lived on an island for that time, Magnetic Island, off the coast of Townsville in Queensland, which is pretty
nice
exciting.
there?
It is. It's a beautiful tropical island.
Oh, cool.
And my dad was the pastor of the church on that island. So that was a fun fact. Just started like super random. But who else was I? I don't know. Then we were in Perth and WA and did school, and a lot of that stuff it's neither here nor there. But I was a lot more lost than I am now, I suppose. I think as
you think it's kind of neither here nor there, but it's all building blocks. It's all a piece of you. You don't live on that island.
No, it's true. I don't live on an island.
Well, no, like as in if you didn't live on that island,
my origin story would be different.
Yeah, maybe you would hate beautiful tropical places because you were actually brought up in the mountains and you love the snow.
Yes, that'd be nice. Well, I've only seen snow once in my life, so
me too.
There we go. Fun fact.
Mount Buller in Victoria.
Yeah. Mine was Cradle Mountain in Tasmania.
Yeah, right.
So I don't even know if you can classify those places as proper snow places.
Not really. I think mine was machine assisted.
Oh gosh. Okay, mine wasn't. Mine was hardcore nature.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's real.
And then you said there were things you dropped in there about like, so your dad being a pastor. That sounds like a
that's a good building block. Yeah. So my dad was, they call him a deacon of a church. You know what a deacon is? Yes. Some people might not know what a deacon is. It's kind of in like senior management of church structure.
I don't know how it works for the church he was a part of, but in ours, you're not like a priest.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
But you still, like, he studied theology, learned how to understand Greek language and Latin and all the rest. Like, he's
a learned man.
Yes, he's a scholar. And then
school, you were public school, private school?
Public and private.
A bit of both.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
But the school, which I won't mention because I don't want to.
We ain't naming.
No, name and shame. They were less refined than they are now, even though that they were a private school. It was like a rough private school. Like they're on the journey, and they have made it now. They are very private now. But when I went there, it was.
I was from a similar school. We always called ourselves we were like the entry level private school.
Yes.
In that, like, we were all mostly just like middle class kind of thing, rather than the ones we looked to in Perth. There's like, Trinity was like always seen as like one of the great.
We wear straw hats. That's the marker. If you're wearing a straw hat.
If your school is on the river.
Yes. Then you've got money.
That's
private. Yeah. Yeah, we're definitely not that.
Yeah.
No, we're just on our way. And I was very convinced in high school that I was going to be an actress, and then I would break out and I'd be on Home and Away, and by 25 I would be making lots and lots of money and be a famous actress, and I would have left Perth behind. Here I am living in WA. I have left Perth behind, but only 2 hours behind down the road. So not bad.
That's obviously a really core building block. That you had a career set in your mind that you were going to be an actress.
Correct.
How did that I don't want to phrase it like that. What went wrong?
So much, Michael. No. I pursued it for a really long time. I pursued it up until I was 28. And I had like some good success. I was in a couple of feature films, I did a couple of commercials, did a lot of, they call it lifestyle modeling, when you're like the girl in a cafe laughing hysterically as she looks off into the breeze, and then they'll put you on a poster somewhere. Right. And I was really good at that. So
you ended up more successful as a model than an actress?
Yeah, which was really weird and an unexpected twist. And then I did, like a lot of theatre and education, shout out Constable Care. And what else did I do?
That chapter.
That's a wild chapter.
What do they have in other states? Because we don't really have. Is it Happy Healthy Harold?
Yeah, I think they have Healthy Harold. Yeah. It's just a stranger danger kind of school, and there are puppets involved. Have I ever told you the story? I probably haven't, but so I used to do some teaching with the puppets as well. So I took the skills I learned from Constable Care, and then I would do like out of school kind of care stuff. But it would be hilarious though, because then I'd have puppets that I would use, and then they would be in the boot of my car. And often you'd open up the boot and then they would be there, mouths open, like, like big not dead people, but kind of like it. And it's really creepy as well. I'm pretty sure when I went on a date, when I moved back to Perth, for some reason there was still one in there for a while. And like, if you ever said to a date, oh, I'll just pop something in my car, and they'd walk you through your car and you open the boot and there's a puppet in the back. It's a really kooky thing.
It's a good conversation starter, isn't it? It's an icebreaker.
Oh, it can be a red flag.
Why do you have a puppet?
Well, yeah. Do I need to be afraid?
And you're like, well, I work for Customer Care. End of conversation.
Well, yeah. I think people were just like,
like, why is there a puppet there? Oh, you'll find out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You also see some rope and a knife. No, it's the whole
Don't
thing.
worry, it's for the puppet.
Yeah.
That's why he's in there.
Anyway, so yeah, that was a fun.
You're like, get me out of here. You would have done that, wouldn't you?
I don't.
You would have panicked and started doing puppetry for your date.
No, I'm cooler on dates than that. You laugh because you think that's not true, but I actually can be very suave.
Now that we're in the Who Was Leah Tindale,
yeah.
I do think that younger Leah was cooler.
No, older Leah is cooler.
No.
Yes.
Cooler in the good sense of like, yeah, you are genuinely a cool person.
That's very nice. You're just buttering me up now.
But younger Leah wanted to be
cool. She wanted, yeah.
She was that.
She was hungry.
Yeah, she was hungry to be cool.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to be an actor,
Yes, you would have thought you were really cool.
But I had no
trendiest places or all the designer labels.
Well, no, I was a poor actress, so I couldn't do any of that. No, but my sister became my identity for a while. She still sort of is. Shout out to Sarah.
Hi, Sarah. How do you feel having your identity stolen by Leah?
I feel like we've talked about this because I've said to her, like, for a long time, I didn't know what I should like or would be into. Like, I've just wanted to please everyone and I wanted to figure out how to crack the code of life. And I was like, Sarah's in fashion, Sarah's trendy, Sarah's got cool friends. So if I do what she says, then I'll also have that. And ironically, we were having this conversation recently, and she said, growing up, she would look at what I was doing and copy what I was doing. And so she was like, so you're only just copying yourself anyway. And so then, which was really nice because it felt so far from the truth. That's a fascinating talk on perception then, really, isn't it? Because you can never see yourself how other people see you. I'm just a big, giant, daggy gal. That's how I see myself.
That's how I see you.
Yeah, okay, good.
So we've learned
accurate, all right,
perception.
Well, then, no. Well, yeah. Well, except for the fact that now I don't really care because that is part. I'm like, it's cool to be a dag.
Yeah.
That's just who I am. A little bit weird.
Yes.
A little bit not. And a little bit, who knows?
Who knows? That's what we're trying to find out.
Yeah, we haven't. So this has been a great chat. What else?
Well, we're in the was.
Oh, okay. Yep. Thank you.
Yeah, puppets in the car and life as an actress, trying to be cool.
Yeah.
And how were you?
Wasn't cool, or as an actress.
Yeah, were you a good actress? I was sort of meaning like, were you happy?
Oh, I see.
You're on the right path. To go back to what you were saying before, were you on the right path? Do you think you were?
I thought I was on the right path, but I was very, very sad, and I would cry a lot, and because I didn't.
Sorry. It was your delivery. It was very sad.
But it's true. I was sad. I didn't know why. I kept trying to think, like, what am I doing wrong that I can fix to make this work? I had such a sense of belief that I was doing the right thing, that this is my calling in my career. And there's two interesting points, and you can decide which one you want to go down.
Oh, choose your own adventure.
Yeah, exactly. The first one is that recently I've had a bit of a personal realization, a big note to self about that the way I view life has been like a big puzzle. And if all I can do is get all the big jigsaw pieces together and I can figure out how it works, then I'll be okay, I'll be happy, and I'll be able to sort it. And that goes from big picture things to then my interactions one-on-one. Like when I'd meet someone, I go, okay, well, what what kind of puzzle piece are you? How do I fit? How do I change my shape to match your puzzle?
Right.
And
Yeah.
so I have done that. I've realized for all sorts of people in all sorts of scenarios, it's been a survival technique. But then in terms of the career, that I was applying that to my career of like, what am I doing wrong? Why can't I make it work? And you see other people having success or seeming success, and you just can't figure out why you can't crack the code to make it work for yourself. And it caused me a lot of angst and a lot of grief. And so there you are.
I guess because it meant that you were a different shape everywhere you went. That you were
Yes.
like, you were one puzzle piece at work and another at home, but then another again to that person and a different one for that person.
People pleaser Leah is probably the big past Leah.
That's who you were. People pleaser Leah.
Yeah, I think so.
That's not the truth anymore.
Hey, no, I do. I still will always be like, that's so ingrained. You can't. That's a hard thing to get rid of. But I'm more aware, and I try and have better boundaries.
I think it's left you in a really good space. I'm sorry if it was a sad and difficult time being people pleaser Leah, but you are genuinely a nice person.
That's nice.
and your people pleasing, I think now is more just your nicety.
Yeah,
like that you're a caring and
Well.
considerate person. Like you kept the good parts of it without sacrificing yourself anymore.
That's very nice. I like to think that I did, and that I think was part of my MO before, but I think I didn't realize how much I desperately wanted to be liked and loved and accepted and fit in and belong. And I didn't feel it at all. And so you keep trying to make yourself squeeze in. And I still am like that. Like I can feel it ramp up sometimes. And I don't like that about myself, but it's just a nice and interesting observation, I suppose.
Like you said, if you've got those boundaries now, then
They're still
you know where the line is.
Well, like the boundary's made of like rope, like it can be cut or burnt, but I still have
Sometimes
got
maybe
it
that's
there.
useful. You know,
Yeah.
I feel like everyone to some degree is a level of a chameleon. You know,
Yes.
we are different things to different people. And we were talking about change before. You know, we're supposed to be able to be fluid, but it can't come at damaging oneself.
No, exactly. And I think it is interesting as well because then different iterations or different time frames requires difference from you. Like like the last 5 years, I've probably been quite hard lined on my boundaries and on me focused, like probably would say more selfish things. But that needed to happen because I've never been like that before. And then now I feel like I'm coming back. If I was one of those little bouncy ball things on the thing, I'm like coming back to the middle of balance, hopefully, maybe. But you can tell me if I'm becoming a dick and I'm actually really selfish.
I don't find you a selfish person.
Yeah. Okay, good.
No,
You can ask my partner and see what he says.
I think you're allowed to be, you know, everyone's allowed to be self-oriented on things that are about oneself. You know, so like
Sure.
your job is your job. You know, it's not anybody else's job. So that a lot of the decisions are going to be about an inward focus.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And as your sphere, I guess, grows of like, you know, you have your partner and you live here in the regions, that's following kind of your career.
Yes, yeah.
But it was obviously able to be done because it didn't not suit his career.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So like, it's in that sense, I don't see that as like selfishness.
Sure. Yeah.
You know? That would be, I guess, being selfish is if you were trying to get other people to get on board with you.
Yeah, sure. And I'm not manipulating people into anything. It's just more, I suppose, self-focused and self-orientated.
And it's like, and that's not a bad thing. And like you said, if you hadn't been at all, then dialing up of that to see where that leads.
Yeah.
You know, I think is a wise sort of thing.
Just sort of the funniest story. Well, I think you'll get a tickle out of it.
Right.
About the type of person I used to be. And my sister teases me about it all the time. My other sister, not shout out to Sarah, different sister, shout out to other sister. I don't know if she'll want to be named. I don't think she listens to this podcast.
All right. No, Nan, sister.
Yeah.
You're not cool like Sarah.
She's not invested. She doesn't listen, and that's fine. No, but after I was separated and divorced, I was living with her for some time. And at the time, like, I thought I was just being courteous or whatever. But she said to me, "You were so annoying because you were living with us, but then you'd come home and be like, oh, I'm going to go out." And she'd be like, "Oh, where are you going to go?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. I just don't want to be an inconvenience." And like, I'd just like leave the house all the time and go sit in my car or find something to do or whatever, because I just so didn't want to like step on anyone's toes.
Yeah.
Like, people pleasing was so, and I think when you're like quite hurt and going through a lot of grief and stuff, you're a little bit more fragile. And so you're like, I'm going to be too much if I stay here. But apparently that I was too much anyway, because I was like, I better go. I'm so sorry. I was just such an inconvenience. And
you were an inconvenience being an inconvenience.
Yeah.
And if that Leah had known, that would have been like a paradox.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, I'm so
confused that this statement is a lie.
Yes. But I just was like, no, I don't want to. I was so grateful for her putting me up. So then I was like, don't ruin it. Get out of the house. So she can't see you and realize that she's made a wrong decision. Anyway, yes, so that's a fun random story for you about my people-pleasing ways. Anyway, what's next, Michael? What else do you want to know about? I don't know where we are for time.
Well, do we move into who is Leah?
Well, yes, who doesn't know? That's part of the problem.
We've sort of begun to transition into that, and that like you're no longer the people pleaser.
No.
You spent some time self-focusing and being career-driven.
Yes.
And you find yourself at the end of a podcast that, I mean, hats off to you for being able to complete the project.
Yeah.
You know, like,
it was touch and go for a while. Yeah. I was, many a times laying on the couch being like, why do I start anything? What's the point? You know, like, no one's listening. No one cares. And shout out to those 20 people who have listened the whole way, you know? True fans. Yeah, exactly.
So would you say that current Leah is self-motivated? Are you very good at seeing things through and setting plans in motion and getting to it?
I've got great initial gumption.
Great.
And then that has been an interesting learning about the creative process. And I know this to be true already, but it is so like a wave, and you have to ride the waves, and you have to allow yourself to go, okay, everything is rubbish. I hate everything that I'm putting out. It's disgusting. I am a lowly worm. And then that goes away. And then you're like, oh no, I'll put out this podcast. And that was a good chat. And then that fuels you and you go again. Someone says yes to a podcast that you never thought would want to chat to you. And it was amazing. That was last week's. Still shout out to Gemma. I'm still living on high. But yeah, so I think that's been an interesting learning, because I'm not naturally disciplined.
You see, you seem very disciplined.
I know. Isn't this interesting? Perception. We come back to the same thing. I don't think I am. I think I'm often dissatisfied, so I'm looking for something else, but I would love a quick fix, Michael.
Yeah, I mean, we all would, wouldn't we?
I want to just lose weight and get toned, make a brilliant podcast and a creative offering, become a multimedia mogul empire, and live my best life. And just like that. But it's not going to happen.
So currently is a little impatient.
Yes, 100%. I don't know if we can talk about that yet.
Oh.
Well, because the thing that's about to happen at work, can we talk about that? No. Never mind. Okay. There's something that's going to happen that I've had to wait for a long time, and I'm really excited about the thing actually happening.
Yeah.
And tune back into my socials, because in like a month or so's time, you'll...
good things in the pipeline.
Yeah, but I've been very impatient for that happening. I've been very sad.
Does some of that impatience come from the Leah that was, from the years before? Like, you find yourself, you're 35.
6. Thank you. Well done.
So you're 36, and you're in a new career, because you're not Leah the actress anymore.
No.
You're Leah the media mogul, which is a
Sure,
very
great.
new career.
Yeah.
3 years of it? 4 at a stretch?
Well, it depends on when you start, really. I mean, I did my first podcast when I was during COVID.
Okay.
So we can say 5 years.
So 5 years. But still, like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. There was the
and that was from the
transition.
age of 30, whereas
Yes.
I've been working in radio since I was 23
Yeah,
or something.
exactly. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't feel particularly impatient because I'm only now where you were
Well,
getting into
yes.
it.
And I have done, and that's the other thing, like when I reflect on what I've done over the last 5 years, and I put a post out recently about this reflection because I am incredibly proud of what I've been able to do in 5
Mm.
years. It's way more than I've ever been able to do in my whole 20s. And I think, yeah, that is a huge thing to even, be able to take props on, take a ticket on yourself. You always tell me off for having tickets on myself, but this is a ticket I'm happy to buy.
Sure.
I've had an incessant burning to make up for lost time that I didn't waste the previous 10 years or the all my 20s. I wouldn't say that they were a waste because I couldn't have probably done what I'm doing now
No.
without that, but I feel very on the back burner, and I'm like, "Right, let's do as much as I can." And then I had this other little thing in my head of, then if I decide to have kids, I have an even shorter window to make the most of and build something so that then it can just plod along after you've got kids when I'm more time poor, more stretched, more whatever. So, yes, I have an incessant fuel within me to make up for lost time, which I don't know if that probably is part of why I struggle with finding contentment.
If you have the capability and you don't burn out,
Well, yes.
then if that's the speed you want to go at, then yeah, kind of go for it. Like you said, in that 5 years, you've come leaps and bounds. You've already gone through, with our company, you've come in and done
A lot of jobs.
different, like,
Yeah, and I mean, that's one of those things as well because
things.
radio, that's the nature of radio.
Yeah.
If you can move very quickly and it's just worked weirdly well. But yes, and I don't know what is around the corner for that reason as well, because it's hard to know how fast you can keep going and what opportunities
Yeah.
are out there. And I want to take more people on the ride with me. I don't think I want to go alone anymore. So my next iteration of Leah is probably more like, okay, what's the collective and what's the people that we're going together to this next thing of whatever that is that we're creating. And you're someone who I have tried to inspire to be on that journey because I enjoy working with you. Yeah, yeah.
3 times.
Bullied you into it. But even like, yeah, with even though you are content, I'm like, I see your potential, Michael, and you're going to reach for the stars.
No, I don't necessarily mind kind of where Michael gets to.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry for talking in third person.
Yeah, do it.
But I mean, like, as in who the radio host kind of
Sure.
Michael is. Because my beginnings are collaborative. I've always been with teams.
Yeah.
And
it's a nice place to get to, I think, when you're back in that space where you want to then move together.
Yeah, because then you're really focusing, or at least I find, on the work.
Yes, yeah.
Where you're like, actually, the only thing that matters is the podcast, not the host of the podcast, or is the show or the stunts we do on the show. That's all that actually matters, and then what comes out the speakers.
Yeah, exactly. And when we'll watch this space, whether or not we do, a second season of the podcast, whether it's just self-indulgent and I'll just talk to a screen by myself and share all the insights. But my thing that I was going to bring up now was a big point of future Leah, the one thing that I'm wrestling with that I would like to unpack and probably land on is a very big topic that's going to take up a lot of time. So that's a problem. But that's the area of faith, because it's the one big thing I can't fit. I don't know where it fits in my life now. And that's the hardest one to settle on.
We're talking the capital F faith?
What's the little f?
To have faith. To have faith.
Oh, faith in myself or whatever. No.
Self and people and things.
Spirituality.
Right.
Yeah. The big F. Not to be confused with other Fs.
It's not fitting at the moment?
No, because I think obviously I mentioned, dad being a pastor growing up, grow up very Christian, very religious. A lot of guidelines in which I was living my life by all fell apart when I got divorced. And then I thought I was putting them back and making them refit. But then as time's gone on, it's not that they don't fit. There's still a place. I still consider myself a very spiritual person. It's very important to me. But I know a lot of people in the faith communities would probably look at me and think, oh, she must not be a believer anymore, as they like to call her, or a Christian or whatever. And that's fine. People can have their opinions. And listening to this is probably the most vulnerable way I've talked about this in a while, because I don't think it's something that is talked about much. Well, not with people that might be just lurking around for information. I don't know where I'm going. But yeah, but it's still something I haven't quite figured out. What does it look like? What do I want it to look like? If you have kids, then it looks like something else. I think you do things for your children because it was beneficial. Like I'd probably be more involved in a church because I know how great that is for community for kids. But if I don't, like I'm building my own great community, I can have faith conversations now outside of a strict Christian format. That is quite liberating for me, but I would like to nail it down.
And it's tough, I guess, if you have friends and family, their belief system is necessary for their belief system.
Yes.
And that, like, say, being a part of a church is the only way that you could be a Christian kind of thing. I think I'm fortunate in that, like, so yeah, a Catholic upbringing, private school, went to church every week, that sort of thing. And then it was sort of, I think it was my parents establishing that for us.
Yeah.
And we hit an age where then they kind of went, well,
what do you want to do? Yeah.
I'm fortunate in that my friends and family, I think, are like-minded to me about faith, and that whether or not we go to church does not define our belief.
No.
Because it's whatever you believe or don't believe, or that sort of thing. Like the over-organization of the belief system. If that doesn't fit anymore, then it doesn't have to anymore. You know, like
that's very hard for me to let go of.
Yeah, because I'm assuming your friends and family, that is a big piece.
Yes.
You know,
and they
don't think you can let go of it.
No, and out of a good place too, because the church provides a lot of community support for like family. Like my dad's living in Queensland, to know that I'm in a good community church where there are people who will check on me or call on me or drop off meals or whatever is very reassuring. And so that's an element of it too. But I am hopeful that the community I'm building would do that for me as well.
It's like the argument around, values and morals, and the idea that people that exist outside of your faith don't have your values and morals is very narrow-minded. Kind of thing of like, if you surround yourself with caring people who love you and look after you and be a part of your community, their faith doesn't really matter.
No, they'll show up regardless, rather than obligation as well.
Yeah.
Which I think is probably definitely what I would.
That's nice and wholesome.
Yeah. But it's a big one. That's an ongoing, that's a big note to self that it's like a note to self question mark. What is faith?
So, I would like to dive into that at some point.
Yeah,
like, but it is a really big conversation.
Yeah, season 2, Faith Chats with Michael and Leah.
Do you have a final note? Like, do you have a note?
Oh, yeah, okay. I knew that you were going to go here, but I wasn't prepared.
If you're the guest, you have to provide the note.
The first one that came to mind, which we'll go with, because then ironically it's also what the note to self is, and that is trust your gut.
Trust your gut. See, the Queenslander, the bananas are inside.
They're full of bananas in that gut. No, but I think there's so many times you just go, oh no, or you'll go, oh, I'll just go with what people think, or what's the done thing or whatever. And there's always a little voice or a little prompting or a little, or something that is guiding you, even as simple as like some of the guests, if you want to break it down to really tangible about this podcast, were like I wasn't going to reach out to. I was like, oh, they won't want to talk to me. And then I did, and it worked, and it was brilliant. And it's one of those things. It's like if you could just second guess whether or not you should even be doing that, or if you trust your gut, then you end up having these cool things. Or with work, being like, yeah, I'm gonna give that a whirl, or I'm gonna reach out to that person, or I'm gonna ask Michael to be on 3 times.
Trust your gut.
But trust your gut, and that's how I got hired for Triple M as well, because our boss, she was like, this girl, she's got no experience, but it just felt right. And it's been brilliant. And same like with us, the work that we do get to do. But the question is for the people, should we have a season 2 of Note to Self? And is it me, or is it guests, or is it Michael? Well, everyone let me know your thoughts. Comment.
Is your notebook full? Do you need more notes?
Yeah. Yeah. Let us know. I wanted to put a text line in there, but we're not on the air. So.
You can just message. Do you have?
Yeah, you can leave a comment on this episode. Follow, and that way, if I do a season 2, you'll be notified. Or where else can you follow me? You can follow me on Instagram if you want, but that feels very self-indulgent.
Do you have an outward-facing Insta?
Yes, of course.
I don't think I follow you. I think I only follow your personal one. Or is it the same?
What do you mean an outward-facing then?
Some people have.
I have
their media one.
Yeah, I have a public one.
Yeah,
this is part and parcel. What you see is what you get.
I don't.
You don't follow me.
Okay, so it's the same thing.
I literally messaged you on the other day.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
anyway.
So I got a message from Leah Tindale.
So what's my handle?
What's me on this?
Leah _Tindale_. Give me a follow, self-indulgently. But Michael, thank you for interviewing me.
Thanks. I mean, we only scratched the surface.
I know.
Which is why I'm hopeful of a season 2. Because
you'd have to listen to it. Though.
There's still so much to learn about you. You know, and it obviously is what people would like. So take that note into season 2.
Yeah, because we didn't even get into the Europe chapters.
Yeah, I know. And they get wild, right?
Yeah. Anyway, we'll save that for later. This has been Notes to Self for the very final time of season 1, TBC season 2.
Bye.